All right, we're live. 4 people on. Chat live. All right, so you guys can comment on the section on the side. Here's just a clear overview of what we're going to be going through. But I will send you a more detailed explanation about everything we're going to be talking about. Just some things I'm not going to go that deep into, just so we have more time. Just because it's going to take way too long just to explain everything, and I want to go over it, touch everything just a little bit. All right, so let's get right into it. The people that are there, can you listen to me? Can you understand me? And can you see what's written on the board? If you can, comment on the section and let me know if you can see it. I know I have to speak loud and you guys can listen, but I just want to know if you can see what I'm writing on the board, just in case. So let me know, right in the comment section. Not in the comment section, in the chat section. It should be to your right. All right, I'm gonna assume you can. All right, so just to get started, we wanna, before a warm-up comes in, it becomes like, okay, so you can't, okay, like, I see you can't see what's on the board. Anyway, I'm gonna say it really loud, so you should be able to understand everything. Okay, so the autonomic nervous system is in charge of all our involuntary bodily functions. So homeostasis, rest and recover, digestion, everything like we don't really control. All right. So it separates into 3 different systems: the autonomic nervous system, sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system, and enteric nervous system. So the enteric nervous system, we're not going to talk about that much. It's more involved in the gastrointestinal tract, so we're just gonna leave that out. So actually, I just wanted to mention it just because to let you know that there is a third, but we're not really gonna be talking about it. Okay, so the sympathetic nervous system is our fight or flight mode. So our fight or flight mode is when we're in the gym working out and we're hitting hard, like our body is in a fight or flight mode and its cortisol levels are increased. So we are more focused, we are ready to go. So you're pumped, that's why your veins pop up and you start sweating and you feel like you want to hit the workout. So that's the sympathetic nervous system. So the parasympathetic nervous system, so that's our rest and digest. So stretching gets us into a parasympathetic state. Eating gets us into a parasympathetic state, or it's supposed to, but I don't want to get into that just yet. All right, so knowing that we want to stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, we don't want to do anything that activates or stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. So we don't want to be stretching before a workout. We don't want to be doing any breathing before a workout. That can be changed for somebody that really needs to have breathing drills that will have them, like, just because we need them to be doing them. But we really don't want anything that gets us into a parasympathetic state, including eating before a workout. So eating before a workout activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and we don't want to do that. Some people be like, I'm fine, I can work out just fine, I can eat and I can just go hit the weights and it doesn't matter, I can just work out. Yeah, but you're not fully activating the sympathetic nervous system, because the parasympathetic nervous system, because when you eat, gets into your stomach says like, okay, we've got food, we got to digest this. And you're telling your body, no, don't digest this. I need all the blood, all the focus on my muscles and getting ready to work out. So understand that eating right before a workout is not ideal, just because you won't fully activate the sympathetic nervous system, and we want to be fully sympathetic within the workout. All right. So knowing where we want to be and where we don't want to be. So this is very important. I will talk about later in a later YouTube video where I will be talking about food and digestion. But right now, just know that sympathetic is where we want to be, and parasympathetic is where we want to be after the workout. So that's why after the workout you stretch. All right. So I'm going to get into stretching later and how to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So right now I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to send you notes just on the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system so you guys can get more depth about it. This is taught in school, but we just like don't pay attention. All right. So why do we need to work out? Warm up for a workout. Can you go into a workout, wake up, come to the gym, hit the workout, hit the reps, hit everything, and hit your weights? Yes, you can. But that's something that's not teaching your body what it's going to expect. So you're not prepping your body for the range of motion that it's going to be performing. Your nervous system is not primed, so your nervous system is like, whoa, what just happened? Like your body responded, you got the workout in, but you didn't get the stimulus of the workout. So that's very important. So the stimulus is something we want to get out of the workout, and different type of workouts require different type of stimulus and different type of warm-ups, okay? So what do we want to, things we want in a warm-up? All right. I'm writing really big, just range of motion. So range of motion is really important. So we're teaching the body where it's going to go, like what are the movement that's going to be doing. So how do we do that? So we start with a general warm-up. It's usually something aerobic, something to get the blood flowing, because if you get blood flowing, it's going to be easier to warm up. You all know that. You all know that 5 minutes on the bike or rower and then coming down and doing some leg swings, some arm swings and all that, that gets you better prep. You feel more loose after that. So it does loosen you up and gets you ready for the workout. So range of motion, prime the nervous system. So priming the nervous system. So depending on what's your level of fitness, it depends what kind of warm-up and how long it should be taking. All right? So a warm-up is teaching you where you're going to go, what's the stimulus going to be, what are the ranges you're going to be going through, and how long it's going to be. It depends on your level of fitness. So let's go on extreme ends. So we have a beginner. And we have, let's just go elite. All right, so in this graph, warm-ups go like this. Sorry, this is meant to time. This is the time you have to be warming up. Just think about that. Depending on your level of fitness, like that's how much time you should be warming up. All right, and that's because if the higher the training age and the higher the level of fitness, the more developed the nervous system is. So what we have to do, we have to get that nervous system primed. We know that, like, that's one of the things we want to do in a warm-up. So if you've been training for 10, 20 years, you need to warm up a lot. If you're just a beginner, can you come into the gym and your first set be like a warm up? It can. It shouldn't be. Like, you should do like 10 to 15 minute warm up anyways, just to get the body prepped, just so you get in the cycle of warming up and being consistently warming up, and your body expecting the same type of stimulus. So your body knows that first we do some aerobic work, then we do some general movements, then we do some specific movements of the exercises we're going to be performing, and then we perform the exercises. So that should be what we're going to be doing. All right, so now that you just have that in your mind, just the longer you've been training, the longer the warm-up should be. All right, so let's go. It's aerobic, general warm-up, and specific. All right, so this is what it's supposed to look like. So you get aerobic, this just means blood flow and movement, just warming up your body. Just as simple as that. You don't need to complicate it. This is just blood flow and warming up the body. General warm up is literally just movements that don't have to do with the exercise that you're going to be performing. So if you're going to do squats, you can do leg swings, you can do lunges, you can do toe touches, lateral bands if your coach decides that glute activation is important and you should be doing it before. So some people, I have them on that, and you know who you are, and you know the type of movements I prescribe for you in the warm-ups and tell you to warm up. So just bear with me on that. So aerobic, blood flow, movement, general, just movement in general, getting the body just ready, and specific. So this is where you're going to be doing your squats with the barbell, with an empty barbell, getting some squats in, then adding some weight. That's specific. Like, that's what you're going to be doing. All right. So how long should this take? Depending on what's your training age and the stimulus required in the workout, it can vary from 10 minutes to 30 minutes. So let's go with, I think everybody here knows who Rene Aplante is. So he has high training age, developed nervous system, and he needs aerobically 5 to 10 minutes. General warm-up, it can be the same, 5 to 10 minutes. And specific warm-up, the same thing, 5 to 10 minutes. All right? So this is something like he needs to do when he's going to snatch. No doubt about it. He's going to warm up 30 minutes or maybe more just when he gets the first set of a working snatch, of a working weight on the snatches, or a back squat, just because his nervous system is so developed that he needs to get everything in line to make sure he gets the stimulus we want from that workout. All right? So how does this vary when we're going to be doing aerobic work, lifting, or high intensity workouts? Okay, so how's that going to be looking? So we got to know that there's different type of stimulus. So if we go aerobic, literally the warm-up and everything related to aerobic is going to be aerobic. So if you have intervals on the bike, intervals on the rower, running, anything that's just going to be cyclical, an aerobic piece, or it can be mixed cyclical. So some some or maybe all of you have experienced 15-minute workouts. Maybe it's a bike combined with box jumps, then row, then do kettlebell swings. So it's mixed work, but the time you're going to be doing it is 15 minutes, so it becomes aerobic. So what do we want to do in aerobic? So literally, we do the same thing in the beginning. So 5 to 10 minutes aerobic, and then like you go straight into, okay, maybe 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off on the bike or rower at the pace you're going to be maintaining. And then the next one, you can bump it up to 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off, 40 on, 40 off. And then just, you can hit 2 minutes on and then rest for 5 minutes and then start your workout. This is just, imagine this piece being like for workout for 20 minutes on the bike. Just that you're going to be doing 20 minutes on the bike at a steady pace or a consistent pace that I've prescribed for you. And just think about this. So you're building up the pace you're going to be maintaining, but you're slowly warming up, because I know that you've gotten the feeling, and I felt it as well, that within a workout on minute number 5, or if it's rounds for a certain amount of time, you're like, oh, I'm fucked up on the first round. I'm fucked up on the second round. Okay, on the third round, I feel pretty good. I feel like I just got in the flow. That means you didn't warm up properly. So if on the third or fourth set of like 6 sets or 8 sets for even times, you feel like, all right, now I'm in the flow, that means you didn't warm up properly. So your warm-up should have been longer and prepped you specifically for that piece. All right? So this is for something aerobic. All right. So what about a workout where you're going to be doing lifting, where you're going to be doing squats, maybe weighted pull-ups? Like what's that shit? What warm-up should that look like? All right. So again, 5 to 10 minutes aerobic. This could be 5 to 10 minutes. Again, general / dynamic. So dynamic muscle contractions. All right. So this can be part of your general warm-up. So general and dynamic. So general, just overall movement. Just get the body flowing, no matter what you're going to be expecting in the workout. Dynamic movements. This can be leg swings, toe touches, GHD back extensions. You can be doing ring rows. You can be doing lunges. So that's like more a dynamic movement. Box jumps can be dynamic. Double unders can be dynamic. So all that's like dynamic. Just bear with me here and specific. So let's say we're going to be doing A, back squats, B, weighted pull-ups. I'm going to write exactly what a warm-up should be looking like. All right. So 5-minute bike. Then get down. 3 rounds. 10 leg swings. I know, like, maybe this is too small for you to see, because I have some people that told me like they can't see well, but just listen to me, and I'm just writing this so I can remember. Leg swings. We want to get some core activation in there too. We can do 10 dead bugs. Or it can be hanging leg raises. Just because hanging leg raises should be it's a good warm up for this, just because it's a core activation, but it's a lat activation as well. Since you're going to be hanging, you can activate. All right. So it can be leg swings, leg bugs, 10 toe touches, 30 single unders. All right, that then, you just write this over here. Back squat, B, weighted pull up. All right, then could be 3 to 5 rounds of 10 air squats, 10 kettlebell swings, light. 10 ring rows. 10 ring rows, or if you're more advanced and if you're doing weighted pull-ups, you have pull-ups. So this can be 10 ring rows, and then you can progress to like 3 rounds of maybe goblet squats and strict pull-ups. But you see, like, it seems like a lot, but 3 rounds of leg swings, dead bugs, toe touches, and single unders, and then 3 to 5 rounds of just air squats, kettlebell swings, and ring rows, like after 5 minutes bike. So in 15 minutes, like, this should all be done. So this should take about 15 minutes, and then you're ready to go specific for the back squat. All right. So this is something that a lot of you have doubts about with specifically warming up for a back squat. So let's assume that we have a back squat with a tempo of 3-0 x1, and we're doing 5 to 7 reps for 3 sets. So a back squat, 3 seconds going down, 1 at the top, 5 to 7 reps. All right. So 5 to 7 reps. You're not going to be going really heavy, but you can go heavy enough. All right. So let's assume this is me warming up for a back squat. 3 seconds going down, 5 to 7 reps. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go empty barbell. I'm going to do 10 to 10 reps. Then I'm going to bump up the 95s. Just because 95 is a low percentage of my max. So just think of something that is just enough for you to like start loading the bar, because we're loading up to something heavy. So we want to let our brain know that, all right, this is going to be heavy. So we don't want to warm up 15 sets slowly coming up. You can go up big jumps till you get to the first working set, and teaching your body that it's going to get heavier. It's going to get heavier. It's going to get heavier. So your body's prepped for that stimulus that you're going to be giving it. So I'm going to do 95, 7 reps, then maybe 135, 7 reps, 185, 7 reps, and maybe start at 225 for 7. And this will be my first working set. All right. How do I determine that this was my first working set? Because 7 reps cost me like a little. Like, it was, when I got to number 7, it was like, whoa, shit, like that. I felt that. Woo. So I know that the next set, I won't be able to jump as much weight as I was doing here before. So this is how you know what's your first working set. Can you fuck it up and be like your first working set felt way too easy, and on the next set you go 275 for 7 and you still feel like that was your first set? So you just erase this first set and this one becomes your first set. So don't be afraid to be like, okay, so what I just did just didn't feel like a working set. It felt like a warm-up. So you can discard that and you can be like, okay, now this is my first working set. So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my 6th set warming up, but my first working set for this piece. All right? You're saying, okay, Ernesto, this takes a shitload of time. I don't have that much time to warm up and do all these sets and start my workout because I got to be in and out of the gym in an hour. I get that a lot. All right. But just know that this is physiology. Like that's just, if you're getting in and out of the gym in an hour with a back squat that's going to require you to warm up for like 7 to 10 sets, you're not going to get the stimulus that the workout required. And that's just it. Like you're going to get some of it. Maybe the last working set will be like, all right, now I'm done with the workout. And the last working set was like the only set that you really felt that was your working set. So if you're in and out of the gym, this was your first working set. And then this your second, and then this your third. And you're going to be like, I still have some left, but I have no time. I have to move on. And that's fine. But just know that that's what it requires. And to be prepped and ready to go, it takes time. And the older you get too. So if you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, it takes more time to warm up as well. Again, because the nervous system needs to wake up and needs to be like, okay, I'm primed and ready for a workout. So training age, high biological age requires more warming up. All right? So if you're not warmed up enough, are you at risk for injury? I can't really say because there's research behind it, but not research that says that if you don't warm up today, you will get injured. So I can't really say, but I just know that if you teach your body the movements that it's going to be going through and the stimulus that it's going to require for the workout, you're going to be fine. And if you do injure yourself, it's probably been coming a long way. All right. Okay. So CNS, why warm up? How long we need to warm up? General and dynamic warm up. All right, we got that, right? So general, just overall movement, no matter what's going to be going into in the workout. So if you're going to be doing squats, you can do like kettlebell swings. If you feel like that's going to warm you up, that's fine. Dynamic is just dynamic contractions. So you're being aggressive. You're moving around, leg swings, toe touches, box jumps, double unders. All right. So contractions. So your body knows and it's ready for contractions. All right. So it's ready to go. All right. Warm up related to output. So we discussed warm up for aerobic pieces, warm ups for lifting pieces, warm up for Olympic lifting. Definitely should include a lot of dynamic movements. So if you're doing Olympic lifting, snatches or clean and jerks, don't be shy to literally go ahead and work up to like a seated box jump, like a tall box jump. Don't be afraid to like jump 30 inches, 36 inches and see where you could go. And that's good because we're opening up the hip and we're teaching the body it's going to get some dynamic contractions. Little bit of sprinting too is good for warming up for Olympic lifts. And if you're going for a high intensity workout, so not all of you which are starting or which are beginner that I've not yet exposed you to some high intensity, just because you need to earn that. I need you to be developed enough just so you can sustain and properly express what we want to do in a workout. So example of this, like a high intensity warm up, high intensity workout, like let's go extreme. So 60 seconds bike sprint. All right, for a 60-second bike sprint, like this is all out. This is 60 seconds as hard as you can So you're going to be getting a lot of lactic acid in, depending on how good you are of getting rid of lactic acid. You can hit a wall in the first 20 seconds, the 40 seconds, or at the end, you may be like, all right, now I'm all fucked up. But this will like jack you up for lactic acid. So what do I want to do? I want to expose myself to a little bit of lactic acid and a little bit of what I'm going to be expecting here. So I want to do 10 to 20 seconds at, let's go 80% of what I'm going to be doing here for 5 to 6 sets. So, and this can be increasing. Let's go for increasing efforts. Increasing efforts. So increasing efforts, 5 to 6 sets, resting 2 to 4 minutes. Yes, 2 to 4 minutes. It's going to take, because this is very high demand for your nervous system. So this is something that we don't want to go under prepared, because it'll hit your nervous system real bad. And you probably will end this bike sprint if you don't warm up enough with like, all right, it wasn't that bad. So one, that could be like you're not able to go that hard and deep into your nervous system, or you just didn't warm up enough and you didn't know what to expect, and you didn't know what this required of you, like to really go hard. So this, it would be a good warm up for this. And depending on like your nervous system, this could be 3 to 4 sets, maybe. Just because if you're really good at getting into your nervous system, 10 to 20 seconds will fuck you up. You'll get there real fast. So this needs to be touches, preparing you to get to this. And you could rest 5 to 6 minutes before touching this, but you need to be breathing hard and ready to go and expecting and be like, all right, I feel my legs a little, but I'm ready to go. I already got it. So your body is exposed to a little bit of lactic acid. It flushes it out, so it knows when it comes in again, all that lactic acid, it'll try to get it out. But if it's a lot, it'll fuck you up real bad. So this is really intense, 60 seconds. And depending on how developed your nervous system is and how hard you go, this could leave you fucked up for like an hour, 2 hours. So this is a warm up for a piece like this. Like, but this is just a piece like only once you do once. And if you're gonna be doing sets of this, that's just a whole nother conversation. Right. So high intensity, small pieces of it, increasing effort. So the same thing would be if you're doing a 5-minute workout. You're doing a 5-minute workout that it's high intensity. Let's go for 5 minutes. Let's go. Just keep on the bike, because it's just easier to like maintain effort there. 5 minutes, all out on the bike. 5 minutes. So same thing. 3 to 5 sets. Oh, can be from 30 to 1 minute. Increasing effort. With the rest here can be, it depends on how you're feeling. If you're increasing effort, the more rest you're going to be needing if the effort's higher. So you can start from 2 to 4 minutes just as well, just between these, and then you can go and start your workout. But the same thing, just know that if you're doing a 60-second workout, like 10 seconds to 20 seconds should be fine to warm up for a few sets. If you're doing a 5-minute workout, 30 to 1 minute, just think of it as just taking 20% of the time you're going to be working out and exposing yourself to that. All right? So let's go with something mixed modal. Something as easy as 10 burpees, 10 kettlebell swings. For 4 rounds for time. So 10 burpees, 10 kettlebell swings, 4 times. So this should take around 2 minutes, 40 burpees, 40 kettlebell swings. So yeah, that should be taking about 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how fast you go and depending how high on the burpee you actually extend. But this is a short workout. So this, you can do 3 to 5 rounds of 5 burpees, 5 kettlebell swings. You can do 1 minute rest, 2 minute rest. So just see like you're taking a little piece of it and you're doing 3 to 4 rounds, 3 to 5 rounds, sorry, and then going into the workout. Okay? Or you could go as easy as a lighter workout. So you can go lighter. So if you're doing burpees and the kettlebell swings are going to be at 70 pounds, you could go, all right, I'm going to do 5 burpees and 10 kettlebell swings at 35. Then the next round, I'm going to be doing 44. The next round, I'm going to be doing 53. And then I'm going to start the workout with 70. So it could be like that. All right, so obviously different type of workouts require different type of stimulus in the warm-up. So you need to think about that and look at the piece and look at the intensity and how hard you're going to be doing. I prescribe intensities and efforts you should be doing, so you definitely want to pay attention to that when warming up. And I need to separate this very clearly. So if you have A, back squats, B, weighted pull-ups, and then you have the 4 rounds for time of the 10 burpees and 10 kettlebell swings, know that you need to do the general warm-up, aerobic, general / dynamic, specific warm-up, do the back squats, do the weighted pull-ups, then you're going to do the warm-up that I just explained for this. So all that warm-up doesn't go on before you do all of this. So this requires a warm-up, and before you start this piece, that requires a warm-up as well. So just don't think because you got through this, you're ready to go to this. So this is high intensity. This is lifting. So differences. So know that this requires differences in this. And yes, I know, warming up for this, warming up for that, it takes time, but structure it, and it really doesn't take as much time as you think. Just when you know what you need to do, it's going to be fine. And again, so if you have questions about warming up for specific pieces, you can write and let me know if you didn't understand properly everything, or maybe I just skipped something and you have doubts. But again, if you do have questions, write them on the chat on the side, because I see that people are writing. So if you do have questions about a warm-up that you would like me to write a warm-up for, and just so you can get a general idea, you can write that in too. But I'm trying to go as best as possible here. So warm-up, let it up, but good. All right, so within all of this, with the warming up, the dynamic, the general, dynamic, specific, you warm up, so you're in a sympathetic state. So now we want to get into a parasympathetic state. So as I mentioned before, parasympathetic, rest and digestion, and that's where you're going to recover. If you can't get into a parasympathetic state, you will not be able to recover properly. So that's as simple as that. Okay? So how do you get into a parasympathetic state? So I'm going to parasympathetic nervous system. So stretching, breathing. Think 90-90 breathing. So the reason why breathing gets you into a parasympathetic state, just know a lot of nerve endings for the parasympathetic nervous system are in the stomach. So remember, so recover, digestion. So digestion, stomach. So breathing, everything here. So gets you into parasympathetic state. So breathing, calm breathing, not breathing high. So let's go, for example, 3 seconds inhaling, 9 seconds exhaling, or just slower than you inhaled. You don't have to put a number on it. It just needs to be slower. That gets you into a relaxed recovery and digestion mode. So when you're here, that's why after the workout, that's when you need to like sit down, drink your shake, or if you have to eat, just go eat. And that's when you're going to be able to digest your food properly. All right? All right, I'm reading a question from Gabriela. My workout has Ollie lifting first and then bodybuilding exercise like single arm bench presses and landmine rows. Should I do a warm up for the bodybuilding after the Ollie before starting the sets? Just work out to your working set. So if you do your warm up for your Olympic lifting, so you already warmed up, you already did your aerobic, because just for the people that are watching, Gabriela's been with me for a few years, so I know she knows get on the bike, then like range of motions, and get some dynamic work in. And so you already did everything. So if after that you're going to lifting, just go through the motions and bump up weights. All right, so that's something that I wanted to talk about. Sorry, I skipped that when we were talking about this. So let's put this on the back burner for now and tell later. So for your working set, the same as the example I gave for a back squat. So if you're doing bench presses, so you can't just get into the first set of last week. So let's say bench press. So last week you got this bench press is let's stick with 5 to 7 reps, and last week was 7 to 9 reps, and you got 7 reps at 100 pounds. Does this mean that the last set should be your first set here? Not necessarily, because if this was a real high demand for you, like if this was like the 7th rep, you just fought it so bad, that shouldn't be your first set. Or maybe it can be your first set at 5 reps because you want to be able to increase. Because on the first set, you try to go 7 reps with what potentially is your 7 rep max is 100. Starting with your 7 rep max could just blow you off for the next reps, because the odds are that it's going to be tough for you to match that. So if this is your 100%, what should I start it? Maybe 90 to 95 pounds for 7 reps, and then maybe go 100 to 105 pounds and just see what comes out. If you get 6 reps, that's fine. 6 reps. Fuck it. So you know you can bump it up a bit and you still have range to go a little bit lower. So you can go 105 or 110, and maybe you get 5 reps. So before this, what are you doing to warm up? You obviously get the barbell in. Barbell, 7 reps. Then you can 55, 7 reps, 75 pounds, 7 reps, and maybe just jump to 90 and bump out 7 reps, and this is your first working set. So you don't need to like do a whole different warm up for this. Just know that you need to be specific to what the bench presses you're going to be doing after the ollie. So just this is what you need to be doing. Just know that you just did your Olympic lifting and you're getting into bench press. That doesn't mean you can just start the first set on there. You need to like do a few sets before and then work up to the first working set. But this can be as easy as like 1 minute rest between, 1 minute 30, maybe 2 minutes, and just that's your first working set. So it really takes 5 minutes to get warmed up for the bench presses for the first set. So if I'm doing like a MAP 10 like cardio, do I still need to warm up even if it's a light effort? No, you don't need to warm up for a MAP 10. So MAP 10 being an effort you could maintain for 3 to 4 hours is something that you could start, like you could get out of bed and just do it. So it's a really light effort. So you could start rowing if you get out of your bed. So you can start rowing and it should be fine. Like maybe you have problems, back issues, knee issues, something that you need to really like warm it up before starting something like that. But MAP 10 should be just like go in it and hit it. So that's why MAP 10 doesn't have a lot of complex movements. And those MAP 10s that do have some complex movements are very light, very small, and easy for you to maintain. So that's why in MAP 10s, we usually prescribe progressions to complex movements like muscle ups, handstand push-ups, pull-ups, things like that, just because we don't want you to think like it's a workout that you need to be thinking about it very much. It's just something that it's supposed to be easy. So it's easy for the brain and easy for you to execute, because if it's easy for the brain, it's easier for the nervous system. So think about that. So it's supposed to be easy. MAP 10 is supposed to be like, you can just jump out of bed, morning cardio kind of thing. Good with that, good with the warming up. All right, I'm gonna assume yes. All right, so let's go back to the cool down. So why is it important to get into a parasympathetic state? So ideally, you go into a parasympathetic state after you've done your workout, you've done it, and you need to get into a parasympathetic state to recover, especially if you're working out at night. So there are a few of you that come in and you get out of here at 8 p.m. and you have to wake up the next day and work, and you need to get there and rest and recover. So it's really important to get into that rest and digest mode, because you're going to be eating, you want to be able to digest the food you're going to be eating and fall asleep and rest. All right, so it's very important. So ideally, I know it's not the case for everybody, but you're working out in the morning or midday, because at night you just jack up your cortisol level again, just because the cortisol level needs to be high for you to get a workout in. That's just physiology. Like, you can't go around it. So ideally, you're working out or in the morning or in the midday. But if you're working at night, it's really important to get into that parasympathetic state. So it's really important for you, after your workout, you put everything away, you lay on the ground, and you do some 90-90 breathings to your belly breathing, activating the parasympathetic state, 2 to 4 minutes just laying on the ground where you're fully calm, or stretching. Stretching gets you into a parasympathetic state, depending on how flexible you are. I know that some of you, and just stretching isn't for everybody. Just the same thing as yoga. Some people, yoga, it's easy, and other people, yoga, it's sweating profusely, and what the fuck is this? I just can't get into that warrior pose. So I'm definitely one of those people that yoga is not a relaxing experience for me. It requires a lot of me, because my brain doesn't allow that movement to be natural. Like, my brain tells my body, like, you can't go that far. So what are you doing? That's stressful for me. So I would have to stretch for 2 to 3 minutes in that range for my body to recognize it, that this is the new range. And you need to do it like every single day consistently, so your brain knows that that range of motion is the new range of motion that you have. And your brain tells it, okay, it's okay to go into that range of motion because you're not going to get injured. All right. So it's that's very different. All right. So the cool down, definitely it's tied up with static stretching and 99 breathing. Like breathing is very important to get into that state. All right. So warm-ups, important. Range of motion, prime the nervous system, allows you to stimulate the system you're going to be using, whether it be a brain-based movement as a back squat or a deadlift, CNS, Olympic lifting, and then get into a warm-up that has to do with aerobic, and another example, warm-up that has to do with a piece that is high intensity. So you already got differences in examples of what to do in those cases. So we're getting up to an hour now, and I've gone through it all. I may have missed some things, so now I would like you to, if you do have questions now. So, or you can write them to me later. I'm gonna be sending you anyways. Just everything I talked about more in depth, so you can have it and you can read it and just reference it. And this video is going to be uploaded and you can have it. So if you do have questions, like now is the time, like post them in the chat section. I'm going to see if I missed something. Autonomic nervous system, dynamic, blah, 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 blah. Stretching. All right. So dynamic stretching, dynamic movements before. Stretching, static stretching goes afterwards. So just know that if you're tight, doesn't mean you have to stretch before. Dynamic movements, if you go on the bike and you start moving around, but you feel your hamstrings are super tight from the day before, if you do some swings and some toe touches and you start to go, you're going to notice that within 20 to 30 reps, you already like, all right, I'm pretty loose. So you're less sore. I mean, not sore, but you have more range of motion, and you did dynamic movements instead of static stretching. All right. So static and dynamic, just you don't have to think that static is just like, okay, static is where I'm going to get my range of motion back, and dynamic is like activating only. Like activating and getting range of motion can go hand in hand. Stretching, static stretching should always be done afterwards. All right. For everything, even aerobic work, even if you feel tight or whatever, like the day before, static stretching should be done before. And if you're doing a MAP 10 work and you want to stretch before or after, that's fine, because a MAP 10 effort, you shouldn't get like that agitated. It's just like a little sweat. You're just going through the movements, blood flow. It should feel like a little warm up. That's how a MAP 10 should feel like. You should go out of a MAP 10 feeling great. Never feeling like, oh my God, I just did an hour workout. No, you just moved around for an hour. If I told you to walk for an hour, like that is the feeling I want you to get from that. Like it's supposed to be easy and effortless. All right. So I will send you everything, and if there are no questions, I'm going to close it up. All right.